Hey Pisces, welcome to your weekly forecast for April 4th through the 10th. This is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You might stumble upon this video after the time I mentioned. That's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you are meant to find it. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does and leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my darlings, we're going to see what's coming up. If you like the deck that I'm using this week, I just want to let you all know that each person who attends the Intuitive Tarot workshop that I'm teaching in Phoenix in June will get their own box of these tarot cards to keep, to use in the class and to keep. So if you're interested in that, link in the description. First card coming up here is the Lovers. This is a major arcana card. So anytime the major arcana cards come up, we're coming into a significant crossroads in our life, right? This is going to be a new chapter that we're coming into, a defining moment. This can be a romantic relationship, but as you all know, those of you who watch my videos regularly, the weekly forecasts, we don't talk about love and romance so much unless it's like screaming in the cards. I do the love readings separately, so the love readings for April are linked in the description. But for some of you, maybe you're making a decision, or you might be thinking, we are coming out of the new moon in Aries. This is a new astrological new year that we're coming into. So maybe some of you are focusing on love life, or you're thinking, hey, it might be nice to have somebody. That could be that aspect for some of you, and there could be something around a relationship. However, the Lover's card is associated with the astrological sign of Gemini. Okay, so if you have a Gemini placement, there can be really big changes or shifts happening for you in those areas of your life. Some of you may be working through something with a Gemini, or going through something karmic with a Gemini. Keep in mind, when I say karmic, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a family situation. It could be boundaries with a friend. It could be a situation at work. It doesn't always have to be romantic when we're having a karmic issue with a person. Some of you have heard me say this previously. When the tarot was first put together, the sixth major arcana card was not called the Lovers. It was called the Choice, the Decision, the Sacrifice. Those are ones I've come across. I'm not sure if there's other things it was called, because the Lovers card is the card about choices. Even within love, it's a card that makes you kind of ask, what do I want? Do I want this kind of relationship or that kind of relationship? Do I want this person or do I want that person? It's a card about choices and figuring out what we want and what are we willing to do it. How much work is too much work? What are we willing to give up for it? What is non-negotiable? So some of you might be figuring this out about yourself right now in all aspects of your life. It doesn't have to be about love. You know, some of you might be thinking about your goals and you're like, okay, how bad do I want it? Do I want it so bad that I'm willing to sacrifice what it's going to need me to sacrifice, or I don't want it that bad? So some of you might be reevaluating your goals, your ideas, your ambitions. Some of you might be deciding that you want to go down a path that maybe previously you said you weren't interested in. As I said, this is a crossroads that you're coming into when we have the major arcanas. Choices, decisions. I also feel like some of you might be making this choice or this decision based on what you feel is healthiest for you. Maybe you were really working really hard towards something, but I feel, Pisces, that you might feel like you're at a point now where you're starting to sacrifice your health for it. And you're like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth me giving up my health? Or is there another way that I can go about this that is going to be healthier for me? Maybe some of you really had your eyes on the prize, like you were really determined to, I don't know why, Spirit is showing me a bodybuilder, okay? And I know that there was a time that I was in this boot camp that sucked me in. It was like a cult. Oh my God. It was like I was working out at one point, like 4 hours a day of working out. I looked good, but it was not a good situation. And I never got to bodybuilder status, but a lot of the friends I was making, they were trying to compete or they were going into like professional bodybuilding. And I learned something I never knew. A lot of those people are very unhealthy. Like they're on all kinds of supplements and fat burners, and they're working out to the point that they're constantly in pain. They look really strong, but if you ask them to pick something up, they're hurting, they're in pain from all the strenuous workouts they were doing. It can be very unhealthy, right? So maybe some of you thought you were doing something for fitness. Maybe some of you are like fitness influencers and you're like, but am I really fit? Like, I don't feel good. I really don't feel good right now. So some of you might be deciding that this goal is not worth me sacrificing my health. You might even be in something where like or like a job. You know, maybe you're putting in a lot of overtime and really hustling, and you're like, now I'm starting to feel my health is slipping. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth me sacrificing my health? I don't know why, Pisces, but I feel there's something here where you're concerned. Maybe for some of you, it's a relationship. You're like, this person is making me crazy. This person's making me sick. I know that when I got divorced, my blood pressure went down 30 points. My doctor was like, your blood pressure is super high. And then I was like, I'm just really stressed. And I ended up getting divorced. And I went back like a month later, and my blood pressure was like perfect. And he's like, what did you do? I was like, I got divorced. So maybe for some of you, there's a relationship that's making you sick, or I don't know, just something. I feel like you feel like you have to put your health first, and so you might be making your decisions based on your health. That's the vibe I'm getting anyway. The next card that's coming up here, and this is a general reading, I mean, keep this in mind. The next card that's coming up here, ooh, holy cannoli, I just got chills, is Five of Swords. Five of Swords can be the burning of bridges. So Pisces, you really are making this time where you are really asking yourself what you're going to keep and what you're going to walk away from. And when you walk away, this is it. This is like there's not any going back, because it's not a good situation. Sometimes for me, the Five of Swords can even come up when you're dealing with a manipulative person or a situation. Again, when I say person, it could be a boss, it could be a company, it could be a family situation, it could be friends, it could be business partners. But sometimes for me, the Five of Swords in a reading will come up when you're dealing with a person that knows your insecurities really well. Like they know what you're insecure about, they know what you feel bad about. And for example, say that growing up, you were always made to feel like you were a selfish person. I'm just giving an example, right? And then you try to set boundaries with this person because they're way out of line, and then they're like, you never think about me, and that's the thing that I can't stand, is you're always only thinking about yourself and you only want to do what's good for you. And you start to feel guilty, right? That part of you, that little voice in your head that's like, you're so selfish, Pisces, starts to get triggered, and you start to feel like a terrible person. Well, they do it so that they can steer you how they want to steer you. They want you to go, oh man, I don't want them to think I'm selfish. Oh my gosh, maybe I am selfish. Oh my gosh, maybe I am out of line. And then you start to let go of that boundary. You don't hold them accountable, or you don't hold them to that boundary. They know exactly what to say or what to do to get you to turn the way they want you to turn. And maybe that was old Pisces, but that's not the Pisces now. You guys, your energy's been a lot feistier as we've been coming through your weekly forecasts. So those of you who are getting triggered, maybe before you react to this person, if you can, take a step away and do some journaling real quick. What did they say? What did they do? How did it make you feel? Go back in your memory as far back as you can. What is the first time that you can recall that you were made to feel that way? Who was involved in that situation? Like, what happened that you felt that way the first time? Why do you think these people did this to you? The person now, the person back then. What do you think they're getting out of it? Why do you think they're doing this? Then write out a forgiveness and release to those people. And then write out a forgiveness and release for yourself. Anything you're blaming yourself for. Sometimes we're just mad at ourselves because we feel stupid for not standing up to a person or giving them a second chance. Or sometimes we feel embarrassed because we lost our cool or we went off on a situation and we wish that they didn't see that they got to us. There's different things that we might blame ourselves for. But forgive yourself, write out a forgiveness and release for yourself, and then write how you're choosing to feel about yourself and about the situation from now on moving forward. If you do this, you're going to deactivate that trigger. You're going to deactivate that button. That person can search around and push and poke as much as they want. They're not going to have any power over you because you've already forgiven it. You've already released it. They can't use it against you anymore. So this is a time for powerful release for some of you. Okay? But you may also be burning bridges. Just because you're deactivating the trigger, it doesn't mean you're going to choose to have this person around anymore. In fact, deactivating the trigger might make it a lot easier for some of you to let go of this person or this situation. You may be burning some bridges. I also feel some of you are in a situation where you, like, a spirit is showing me like you're swinging on vines, and like maybe for a while you were swinging and you didn't like that vine, or you didn't feel like it was a secure vine. You're like, oh, holy moly, this vine is gonna snap, it's gonna break any second. But then all of a sudden there's a new vine coming in, and so for some reason I'm getting this visual that some of you are uh grabbing a new vine and letting go of an old vine, like swinging forward. I don't know if that resonates with anybody. Let me know in the comments if that feels applicable to you in any way, but for some reason I'm getting that visual. The next card that's coming up here is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is a card that says you're almost there. You're almost to the finish line. Don't give up now. This is not the time to give up. If you knew how close you were to the finish line and you gave up now, woo, you would be livid, okay? Because you're so close. Nine of Wands also comes up when we might be looking at opportunities or presented with opportunities, and we're not sure what we want to do. We're not sure which opportunity we want to take. And so we're scared. We're kind of nervous that we're going to make the wrong decision. But every single one of these vines here, not vines, see, I'm saying vines again. Every single one of these wands here, there's a lot of symbolism here in this picture. Okay, and that's something I'll be talking about in the intuitive tarot workshop as well. But this card is supposed to be a guy standing in his vineyard, and every single one of those wands belonged to somebody who came at him and tried to rob him. They wanted to beat him up and take everything away from him. Now, we see he's hurt. He's got the bandage around his shoulder. He's got the bandage around his head. He's not without injury. He took some hits. He's hurt. But every single one of those wands belonged to someone who came up to him and attacked him. And he won every single fight. He took them down. He disarmed them. He took their wand away and he stuck it in the ground as a trophy of his victory. And so the Nine of Wands wants you to know, and he's still standing. He's still alert. There might be one last battle ahead, one big push that gets us to the Ten of Wands, but that's it. That's the last battle. You're done. Mission accomplished. So some of you may feel like you're coming up against this big decision or this big push, right? This is your Goliath that's coming in. And you know and you feel you're going to have to push through the situation. And so there may be opportunities coming in and you're like, I don't know which one to choose. I don't know which one to do. And I don't want to make the wrong decision. I'm scared. Well, Nine of Wands basically says there is absolutely positively nothing new under the sun that anybody can come at you with. You've seen every lie. You've seen every manipulation. You've seen every dirty little trick in the book. So as long as you're staying alert and you're paying attention for any kinds of red flags, you're going to be fine. If you're paying attention and you're being alert, and you're like, oh, this person's starting to do what my ex did, or this boss is starting to, give me the runaround, and, they're making mistakes on my paycheck, or they're doing what that last shady place did, or whatever it might be. Pay attention. As long as you're paying attention and you're paying attention to the red flags, you're not going to get stuck in a situation that you won't be able to get out of, because you're not going to go and throwing yourself investing into something blindly. You don't have to be scared to give an opportunity a try. You don't have to be scared to give a relationship a try, or even a partnership a try. But you know that you're going to do it in a way where you're not surrendering your power completely to this person or this situation. You're leaving yourself a little way to back out if need be. And you're paying attention to the red flags so that you don't go getting sucked in, or you don't go getting taken advantage of. Because, like I said, with the Nine of Wands, there is absolutely, positively nothing new under the sun anybody can come at you with. You've been through it all, you've seen it all. So, as long as you're paying attention and staying alert, you have nothing to worry about. You're not going to get stuck in the wrong situation because you're smart, because you're experienced. Okay? The next card that's coming up for Pisces is the Page of Wands. Now, this can sometimes be a younger fire sign person, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, or a playful one. It doesn't have to be necessarily too much younger, but it could be playful. It could be you if you have a fire sign placement. You might be in that area or in that focus right now. It doesn't have to be a fire sign placement, okay? And again, this goes back to reading intuitively. So for me, in my readings, a lot of the times the Page of Wands isn't about a fire sign person. For me, in my readings, the Page of Wands can be you kind of coming into, getting feisty, feeling good about yourself. It's like a second adolescence. You might be giving yourself a bit of a makeover. You might be asking yourself, how you're putting yourself out into the world, and you want to kind of have like this whole like visual that you're putting out forward, or this whole kind of look that you're putting together that you feel is reflective of you and who you are. It's like a second adolescence. Like you're finding your clique, you're ambitious, you're excited, you're going after your dreams and your goals with a sense of confidence. You might be feeling very passionate, very optimistic, like just really wanting to go out there and taste and experience life. The Page of Wands can also sometimes come up for me with a situation where there could be a muse. So, Pisces, you may be a muse for somebody else right now, and there may be a blessing coming in for you for that. There could be someone who is very inspired by you, or really kind of admiring you in some way, or appreciative of you, and they may be throwing some kind of blessing your way. You may find a muse. You may be dealing with somebody. You may find a Page of Wands type person who is inspiring you, and you're feeling excited, you're feeling inspired. And so maybe some of you are getting your creative juices flowing. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks, those are going to resonate more for you than your sun sign. You might want to schedule a private reading with me, which you can do so by going to calendly.com/amethystangelite. There's a link in the description that will take you to the scheduling page. Speaking of scheduling, you can also book or schedule for the June 18th workshop. Those of you who are interested in attending in Phoenix, Arizona, you can secure your space for the workshop there. Love readings for April are linked in the description. And I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care.